In a previous video, we defined generosity. Now, I will tell you about stinginess, which is the opposite of generosity. Well, what is stinginess? How does a person become stingy, and how does Islam define stinginess? Stinginess: a person who has money but does not spend it, goes through the trouble of saving as much money as possible and cannot bring themselves to spend it. In the verses that Allah has sent down in the Quran, specifically Surah Imran, ayah 180, He defines stinginess as follows: "And let not those who greedily withhold what Allah has given them of His bounty ever think that it is better for them. Rather, it is worse for them. Their necks will be encircled by what they withheld on the day of resurrection. And to Allah belongs the heritage of the heavens and the earth, and Allah of what you do is fully aware." In another verse, Surah Nisa, ayah 37, it says, "Who are stingy and enjoin upon other people stinginess and conceal what Allah has given them of His bounty, and we have prepared for the disbelievers a humiliating punishment." Being stingy is an unwelcome situation in the sight of Allah. One of the biggest characteristics of stingy people is that they prevent generous people who want to do good. Stingy people do not trust their surroundings, so they want to be economically strong to keep themselves safe. That's why they don't spend the money they earn. They think they are powerful with the money that they save. When stingy people need to do a favor for anyone using their money, or have to buy something out of necessity, they feel like a piece of their soul has been ripped out. However, they forget this: Allah addresses people who do good and show generosity with the following verse. "Say, indeed, my Lord extends provision for whom He wills of His servants, and restricts it for him. But whatever thing you spend in His cause, He will compensate it, and He is the best of providers." Allah says in His book that when people show generosity to anyone, He will definitely give them something else to take its place. This means that the things we give do not get deducted from us. We should always remember, it is God who gives humans their sustenance. The Prophet says stinginess is a tree whose branches extend from hell to earth. The people who hold its branches are led to the fire. Just as generosity will take us to the heaven, stinginess will take man to hell. Because God tells us, "Your goods and your souls are mine." He does not want us to keep and hoard something that does not even belong to us. He prohibits hoarding. In a hadith narrated from Aisha, it says, "The example of the stingy and the generous is like two men wearing armor from neck to chest. When a generous person gives, the armor goes down to his feet and covers him down to his footprints. When the stingy man wants to give something, every layer of the armor sticks on him, as if rusted. He wants to expand it, but it doesn't expand." Everything that people give from their property is the protector of the person. It protects them from all kinds of accidents and troubles, like an armor. That is why generosity and stinginess are likened to armor in the hadith. Just as the armor expanded and protected his whole body for the generous, for the stingy person it became something that constricted him. The descended verse confirms this. Their necks will be encircled by what they withheld on the day of resurrection. The Quran and Hadiths warn us about stinginess. Now, I want to tell you the story of a man in a town notorious for his stinginess. This man was such a stingy person that he did not make friends with anyone so that no guests would come to his house, and he did not go to visit anyone. This stingy man used to sell what he had harvested at the market every weekend. One day, he went to the market in the town to sell his goods. He opened his counter early in the marketplace and arranged his goods on the counter. He sold his goods during the day and got his money. Around the evening, on the way home, he stopped by the butcher and bought half a kilo of meat. A surprise awaited him in front of the butcher. While the stingy man was leaving the butcher, a huge cat appeared in front of him. The stingy man was very afraid of cats. The cat wouldn't leave the door without getting something to eat from every person who came out. The stingy man did not want to give his meat. The butcher warned him, "What are you waiting for? Give a piece of it. It won't let you go if you don't give the meat." And the man gave a small piece of bone to the cat. The cat ran after the piece of bone and stepped away from the man. The man took a deep breath as the cat stepped away from him. He immediately went home, cooked the meat he bought, and ate it with pleasure. Since the stingy man was working the market that day, he was very tired and went to bed early. That night he dreamed that he was in heaven. The stingy man begins to wander in paradise with admiration. He is speechless in the face of the beauty of trees, birds, and flowers. After walking for a while, he realizes that he's hungry. His stomach begins to growl. He looks around for something to eat, but can't find it. Where are the quails, the rivers of honey and milk? He asks. He looks around for various fruits, but is confused. When describing heaven, there were various foods that were described. Why is there no food? What kind of paradise is this? The stingy man begins to list all the food of heaven to the angel, the ones that were meant to be there but aren't, and asks why they aren't there. The angel comes with a package and gives the package to the man. The man happily receives the package. While waiting for food from heaven, inside the package, there is the piece of bone that he gave to the cat in front of the butcher. The man is astonished. "What is this?" he asks the angel. The angel says, "Only this was sent from the earth." The man realizes he will only receive the good deeds he had received while on earth. Stinginess is like a disease. It envelopes humans and leads them to inequity and evil. That's why it's forbidden. The stingy person is far from God, far from paradise, far from man, and close to hell. To stay away from hell, let's do our best to be as generous as possible. The longest continuous investments have the most fruitful income in the future. Generosity is a very long-term investment which will open the gates of Jannah on the day of judgment. So, as the Prophet stated, let's protect ourselves from hellfire through generosity, even if it's with half